Hello viewers and the students. Today we are going to discuss an important topic in the Contract Act, and that topic is said to be constructive contract or quasi contract. For you it might be a new name or new topic before you. Perhaps you did not have idea about quasi contract. You simply know about the contract, where in proposal, acceptance, promise, consideration, free consent, consideration, as well as legal object are there, and without which contract is not possible. Means possibility of a contract is there only when these elements must be present in the contract, and it all about your contract and you knew very much. Now this chapter contains quasi-contract as well as constructive contract. Sometimes it is called implied contract, or for your understanding I can say it is deemed to be a contract. Means in practice it is not a contract, it is not said to be a contract, but the law suppose that this is also a kind of contract. The principle lies behind this quasi-contract is that, and supposition of law is that no man should be enriched at the cost of the other person. In practice, everyone wants to be enriched at the cost of the other, and so the law, without the essential elements of the contract is also there, but it is meant to be a contract or complete contract when it is not the two parties but the one party plus operation of the law, plus law is there. By the help of the law or support of the law, the contract is said to be complete. And since nobody shall and nobody would get enriched at the cost of the other, so this must be remembered by the person who is making such illegal benefit or illegal bargain. Now, by an example, you can understand that if someone goes to the shopkeeper asking him to have a pen to him, and the shopkeeper gives him a pen, and without paying the cost of the pen he returns. Now actually there is a lack of contract there, since the person who is a stranger does not make the payment, and so it is not complete contract. But wrongfully he is gaining, and wrongfully the shopkeeper is in loss. So law or the principle equity and equity and justice says that no, the shopkeeper must not be in the loss, and so the resumption, like the contract between the stranger and shopkeeper, must be there. And law presumes that shopkeeper must be paid by the person who was in fact a stranger. Second example, I can quote you with you and before you that if a person finds some goods lying on the road, he picks up that goods. He knows already that he is not entitled to keep the things with him, and it is the duty of the finder that he should either go to the police station and submit the goods to the station, or he should find the address of the stranger and he should give him to that things which he got earlier. And by the way, if he does not do either two things, then he keeps the things with him, and so it is said that wrongfully he is keeping the things, and this is not a right way to keep the things, since he is not the owner, he has no right to keep the things with him. And so the law also says in this case that he should not be enriched by the cost of the other person. This is the whole about your quasi-contract, and sometimes it is called constructive contract. Now, the juristic basis of the obligation in such a case is not founded upon any contract or tort, but upon a third category of law, namely quasi-contract or restitution. The basic underlying principle in the case of quasi-contract is that the law implies a debt or obligation in order to prevent unjust enrichment. Such obligations are generally described as quasi-contractual obligation. Actually, in contract, mutual obligations are created by the parties, and when they voluntarily or under free consent they agree with each other promise and acceptance, then creation of legal relationship as well as creation of legal obligation occur there. But in case of quasi-contract, there is no such creation is taken place. So, for the enrichment of the unentitled person or the loss sustained by the entitled person must not be go in the loss. So, it is the supposition of the law that there occurs also the relationship between the person who does the thing which he should not be done by him, but he does, and so enrichment of his obligation must be also incurred by him at the same time. So, operation of the law plays an important role in the absence of the other parties, and so there is there is a legal obligation there, as well as legal relationship is also built there, and no one shall deny for that relationship. This is in brief the situation of contract, which is not supposed to be contract in practice, but it is called quasi contract, and definition of quasi contract is not found anywhere in the Contract Act. But above we have discussed some brief conception of quasi contract in that way. Now, what is the essential elements of the quasi contract? In brief, I can tell you what is to understand. Contract is created by the law. In absence of other party, the law is there, and so the absence of second party or defendant must be operated by the law, and the law is there. Next is there is a right against a specific person. Means if a goods is found by someone, then it is his duty to return the person who is the owner of the goods. So we can say in another way that right against a specific person. Now, next point of essential, that legal relationship between the parties are not there. That is, there is no intention to create legal relationship between them. In absence of other party, the legal relationship could not be based on. Now, the only way is to the operation of law is essential to build up the legal relationship between the parties, because in absence of other party, only the law can do the thing. Another point is that in contract, intention of the aim of the parties are to create legal relationship between them. In quasi contract, there is no such intention is found. Now, in this way, there is a supposition of only the creation of relationship where the absence of one party is already there. Now, in this way, the courts, Indian courts, suppose it be as a quasi contract in different way. First, necessary supply. If incapable person or a person who is in need, the other person can help him in supplying the goods. And 68 deals with this situation. Now, payment by interested person. Another thing is that of quasi contract, that if a payment is made by interested person, then the person who has made the payment, he must be return the money also, and this deals in the section 69. Now, the section 70 also says liability to pay for non-gratuitous act, Actually, acts are two kinds in this regard in quasi-contract. Gratuitous act or non-gratuitous act. Actually, perhaps you don't understand, but in gratuitous act, there are the act done by the party without charging his labor. Suppose you keep the thing to a person and he keeps it without charging you, then it is called gratuitous act. But in lieu of gratuitous act, if he does non-gratuitous act, then there is no question of any litigation. And this is to be read in the section 70. Now another way is also there, that finder of goods, which it deals in the section 71, wherein it is said that if a finder of a goods is there and if he finds something and it is the duty and it is the right of the person who has by mistake lost the things, has a right to get the thing again, but by the way, which is not done in the practice. Now another point is that by mistake or by coercion, if someone leaves the thing in the house of a friend or any other, and if the person where the things is left does not return to the person to whom it was to be returned, then in that case the person who keeps the things without the consent of the person, then he must pay for the goods since he has used it. Now let us see what is the basic difference between contract and quasi-contract. And in this regard, we shall see first point of difference. Creation of contractual thing is made where the proposal, acceptance, promise, free consent, valid consideration, and a legal object are present. In the quasi-contract, no such things are present. Now, the second point is that obligations between the parties are created by the valid contract, but in a case of quasi-contract, obligations between the parties are created by the law, since there is no two persons there or parties there. Now third point is that in a contract, contractual liabilities are created voluntarily by the parties, but in quasi-contract, contractual liabilities are imposed by the law. Next point is that contract is created on the basis of established law, but in quasi-contract there is no such law is there, and so the application of justice and equality is there, and so principle of equity and justice is applied there, and without which the supposition and operation of the law is not possible. Thank you.